In the world of football, there are games that live in highlight reels. And then there are games that live in the hearts of fans. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Detroit Lions wasn't just another matchup. It was a test of discipline, a duel of defenses, and a night where every inch gained on the field felt like a battle won. Tonight, we break down the full story of how the Eagles secured a gritty 16-9 victory over the Lions. A game defined not by explosive scoring, but by strategy, pressure, and the unforgiving nature of NFL football. Welcome to this complete match review where we'll explore everything. The key moments, hidden strategies, surprising performances, game-changing decisions, and what this matchup means for both teams moving forward. So grab your seat, tighten your chin strap, because this is the ultimate Eagles versus Lions review. Coming into Week 11, both teams had something to prove. The Eagles, sitting at 8-2, were hungry to solidify their position as one of the NFC's top contenders. Fans expected excellence, but questions lingered about the consistency of their offense. On the other hand, the Detroit Lions, entering at 6-4, carried their own pressure. They had shown flashes of brilliance this season, moments suggesting they could be a real NFC threat. But consistency wasn't their friend either. One week they looked like contenders. The next, they looked like a team still trying to figure out its identity. So when both teams stepped onto the field under the bright lights of Sunday Night Football, this wasn't just a game. It was a statement opportunity. From the very first snaps, it was clear that this wasn't going to be a high-scoring shootout. The Eagles' defense came to play, aggressive, disciplined, and perfectly aligned under Vic Fangio's defensive scheme. And it didn't take long for the first big moment. The Lions pushed the ball down the field with confidence, but Eagles rookie Cooper DeJean made a highlight play, stepping into the passing lane and grabbing a crucial interception. This wasn't just a turnover. It was a message. Philadelphia wasn't going to let Detroit dictate the pace of the game. Even though the Eagles' offense struggled early and couldn't fully capitalize, the takeaway shifted momentum immediately. The Eagles' offense throughout the night looked like a car trying to start on a cold winter morning. Functional, but not smooth. They moved the ball in short bursts. A few strong runs. Some accurate mid-range passes. But the rhythm simply wasn't there. And this has been a theme for the Eagles lately. The defense shines brightly, while the offense works harder than it should to gain traction. Still, what they lacked in explosive plays, they made up for with smart decision-making and reliable kicking. Jake Elliott, quiet, consistent, and deadly accurate. In a game where touchdowns were rare, Elliott became the Eagles' most essential weapon. He hit 3 field goals, including a beautiful 49-yarder late in the game. To many fans, these kicks may seem small. But in a low-scoring defensive battle, they were game-deciding. Elliott's calmness under pressure was as important as any quarterback throw or defensive stop. Detroit actually outgained the Eagles in total yards. They moved the ball well between the 20s. They found openings underneath. They had long drives. But every time they approached scoring territory, the engine died. 0 for 5 on 4th downs. This stat alone tells the entire story of the Lions' struggle. It wasn't that they didn't try. They pushed. They were aggressive. They attempted conversions that could have changed the entire flow of the game. And they failed repeatedly. Red zone disaster. The most painful moment came in the third quarter. The Lions had 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. A prime scoring opportunity. But the Eagles' defense tightened up like a steel trap. No space. No air. No hope. Detroit walked away empty. Missed opportunities like this are what separate good teams from great teams. If one unit deserves full credit for the Eagles' victory, it's the defense. Led by Vic Fangio's veteran scheming, here's what they achieved. Shut down Detroit in crucial moments. Forced turnovers. Dominated the red zone. Controlled the pace of the game. Made the Lions' offense look predictable. This is the type of defense that wins playoff games. Not flashy. Not reckless. Just smart, fast, and always in the right place. Players like Jalen Carter, Haason Reddick, and others kept Detroit's backfield uncomfortable throughout the night. This wasn't luck. This was planning plus execution. Near the end of the second quarter and into the third, the Lions started to build momentum. A few big plays. Strong runs. Accurate throws. It looked like Detroit was waking up. But twice, yes twice, the Eagles' defense held the Lions when it mattered most. A fourth down stop. A goal line collapse. A stalled drive due to tight coverage. Every time Detroit tried to grab control, the Eagles' defense took it right back. As the game entered the fourth quarter, the score was still close. Both teams knew one thing very clearly. One mistake could decide it all. The Eagles leaned on Elliott once again. But more importantly, they leaned on their defense. Detroit made one final push, trying to tie the game. But the Eagles' secondary shut down the deep routes, while their front line collapsed the pocket. Pressure, coverage, discipline, all working in harmony. And when the final whistle blew, the scoreboard read, Eagles 16, Lions 9. A low score. But a powerful statement. Their defense is elite. No debate. This unit can win games even when the offense struggles. The offense must improve. They're winning now, but against high-powered teams, this inconsistency could become a serious problem. Their playoff hopes strengthened. With this victory, the Eagles move to 8-2 and remain at the top of the NFC race. Veteran experience on defense and confidence in special teams carried them through. Missed opportunities killed them. 0-4-5 on fourth downs is a nightmare statistic. Yardage without execution means nothing. They moved the ball well but couldn't finish drives. They must solve red zone problems. A playoff team scores in the red zone. Detroit didn't. They're still dangerous, but flawed. The Lions showed potential. But potential doesn't win games, execution does. The Eagles didn't dominate by offense. They dominated by heart, discipline, and defense. The Lions weren't outplayed everywhere. They just failed when it mattered most. This wasn't a Hollywood-style action game. It was a chess match. A war of inches. A game where every decision counted. And in such games, experience often wins. Football isn't always about highlight reels. Sometimes, it's about grit. About resilience. About stepping up when the moment is loudest. On this night, the Eagles showed they can win ugly. They can win tough. They can win without perfection. Meanwhile, the Lions learned a painful lesson. Moving the ball means nothing if you can't punch it into the end zone. This game may not be remembered for explosive plays. But it will be remembered as a teaching moment for both team identities. And that's what makes football beautiful. Not just the plays, but the stories they write. Thanks for watching this deep, detailed breakdown of the Eagles vs Lions matchup. If you enjoyed this full analysis, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more NFL storytelling, breakdowns, and analysis.